Welcome into this week's Who's the Champ. I am Chris Helms, your host. You know, the one thing I love about this show is I love to sit down and talk about wrestling with people. You know, I've had the opportunity of showcasing some of the greatest here locally, internationally, and on the grandest stage of them all. You know, in my first episode, I unfortunately had to sit down and talk about the passing of Hulk Hogan. But during my time, you know, MLW has been on here a couple of times. Local independent wrestlers like Zuka King or Chris Vallo. And one of the great names that's on the independent scene right now is Dump Truck and Jessie. Jessie Diamond. As you can see, both of them together at the School of Morton. Phenomenal. There's so many different adjectives that I can say about Dump Truck. I haven't had the pleasure of working with Jessie yet, but I hope in the near future I would. Dump Truck has graced Charleston so many different times and has put on so many great matches. So, you know, let's just go ahead and let's just jump in. You know, I'm taking up time just talking. I'm just gonna let them talk. You know, Jessie, thank you for joining me today. You know, one of the things I want to jump in and talk to you with is, let's start with you, Dump, and then, you know, Jessie, we can jump in with you in just a second. Dump Truck, tell me, what was training like for you? Who'd you train under? And what was your experiences?
I started in Fountain Inn, South Carolina with Manny Fernandez, and then moved up through Manny, and then I had James Hamby, and then the plethora of others that has helped me through the years, like rest in peace, Thunder Anderson. Shiki, he's been a guy that helped train me when I first started. The killer Nick Fury, he's another one.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, but the initial trainer that got me to running ropes, bumping, and all that was Manny Fernandez and James Hamby.
Well, growing up, I loved wrestling, but I didn't think it was possible. Like when I was real little, 4 or 5 years old, I wanted to be a wrestler, but I didn't know the indies. I had never heard of the indies. All I had ever seen was what I saw on TV. So I didn't think it was possible. So I just moved on with life, never really talked about my dreams. And then a few years ago, I had an opportunity to go to an independent wrestling show and was hooked.
Mm-hmm.
A year later, I started training at what was APW, the Asylum, which used to be APW, American Pro Wrestling, but it was the Asylum when I was there. Trained under AJ Frost and Luke Fury for a little bit. Broke my arm in a bump, actually, on the first night of training. So if you... That was not nice. So a few weeks later, I had surgery. Got a plate and 8 screws and a nice scar. And then I knew, well, my kids begged me not to train to wrestle, but I went back to training and was going to attempt wrestling. But I would say PTSD kind of traumatized me a little bit. And every time I would go to take a bump, I'd freeze up, start crying. But I kept learning how to run the ropes, and I learned some heel stuff and different things, and decided I wanted to train as manager.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dump Truck. But you know, looking back, you know, from your training and for the stuff that y'all have actually done in the business, looking back, do you have any regrets? I mean, looking back onto your time in the business so far, you know, I hate to be jumping to the end and everything right now, but, you know, looking back, what would you, tell me your thoughts. Do you regret anything?
I wouldn't change not one single thing that I've done in this business. I've done it just about everything thing you can do. I've hardcore. I've done it all, and I've loved every second of it. Just being able to get in that ring, and with some of the people that I've been in that ring with, it is awesome as excuse my French, but awesome as hell.
I absolutely dump truck. You know, me and you've been friends for, oh man, years upon years. I mean, it just feels like since day one. You know, there's a picture certainly out there, and I was like, you know, we could be kin, you know, because the bald head and the beard, you know, I shaved mine off a little bit, but, you know, we could be kin, and we're brothers. We're kindred spirits, me and you, just the love of this business and everything. So I got to ask, because I know I've been in that situation. You know, you've been in many locker rooms, both of you, you know, Jessie and Dump Truck. Can you tell me, have you ever gotten starstruck, you know, got a little nervous in front of them? Because, I mean, I have. You know, I've seen some people in this business, I'm like, oh, my goodness. And the closest one so far was seeing Arn Anderson face to face. I was jittering. Have you had that experience? Have you been starstruck yet?
Every single one. Every single one. Because it's not just that who they are, it's where they're at in this business. And I'm humbled enough to be able to be in the ring with them, to be involved with something with them. It is humbling to me. You know what I mean? I don't care about titles and all that kind of. I don't care. It's the memories in this business. I've got more years now behind me than I do in front of me. With me being almost 47 years old. Well, I am 47 years old. With me being almost 50 years old, I've got more years behind me than I do in front of me. So, with everything that goes on in this business with me, is simply it's going to be recorded, stayed right up here in my mind and in my heart, because I'm gonna take it to heart, because I love this. I have given blood, sweat, and tears for everything in this, for everything that I've ever gotten in this business. I have given blood, sweat, and tears.
Well, I would say I have. I try to really be a little bit more reserved, I guess you can say, and try not to
Mark,
show it. Stop.
Mark.
I mean, I can't help I like carrying his belts. Who wouldn't? They're beautiful. But anyway, but I actually had a long conversation when I first was getting ready to transition to learn managing, when I realized that wrestling wasn't for me. And I had a long conversation. I reached out to Baby Doll, and she actually talked to me. Yeah. But
Baby doll.
Baby Doll, I mean, a lot of people just think that all of these stars are stars, and they are, but they're humans like us. And she had a long conversation with me, um, give me some tips and things online, and her and I, you know, chatted back and forth. And then a couple weeks later, I got to see her at an event, and she gave me the biggest hug, and it was like, hey, I've been talking to you, but she sought me out. And it just meant a lot to know that, you know, she communicated with me and helped me on my level. And then I would say it was kind of fun the night that Sweets and Truk were doing the tag team match with Barbarian and Warlord. And Barbarian goes, hey, Truck's girl, come over here, be a traitor. Come take a picture with me.
Oh man, I've met Barbarian before, and man, what an intimidating dude to see face to face. But one of the nicest men that you will ever meet. You know, Dump Truck and Jessie, just stay with me for a few more minutes. You know, we're gonna take a break real quick. Everyone, when we come back, you're not want to miss this the next thing that we're about to get into. So you're watching Who's the Champ with Chris Helms and with my guest today, Dump Truck and Jessie. Welcome back into Who's the Champ. I am Chris Helms, your host. And this week, we're sitting down with independent wrestler Dump Truck and his fiance, Jessie, and manager, and social media manager. You know, she's a promoter. The girl can do it all. It's absolutely great. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit later. Dump Truck, you're going to have to talk about something, buddy. We have to. We can't. Me and you can't sit down and talk without talking about your brother, Brandon. Brandon had such an aura of him. Everyone in this business absolutely loved him. Everyone that had met him, the man was a big teddy bear. He was absolutely awesome. I've had many conversations sitting in the crowd with him. But unfortunately, a few years ago, we lost Brandon. If you're okay with it, are you willing to speak about Brandon?
There's a lot that I can say about my brother. If he wouldn't have had the back problems that he had, he'd have been right there walking beside me down that aisle. He would have. Matter of fact, before he died, he actually got his dream one time to walk me to the ring.
Really?
And we had a whole storyline planned out to where he was going to help me win the heavyweight title. Well, we was going to get to the heavyweight title match. And it was going to be against Nick Fury. And I was going to get right to where I was fixing to win. And he was going to turn on me. And he said he thought that would be so cool. And I asked Nick about it. He was cool with it. It was one of his dreams, and if I could have made that come true, I was going to do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
That place in Bowling Springs loved my brother. My brother loved that Bowling Springs. He loved being able to come there and watch me. They offered my brother actual money to come there and work security and everything. And I didn't know this until after he had passed away. He told him that getting to come there and watch me live out my dream was payment enough that they could keep their money. Give him a hot dog, give him a drink, and let him sit there and watch his brother in the ring. And in between, he'll throw out all the BS. He'll get rid of that and make sure everybody's having a good time. And that's what he did.
Absolutely.
And when he passed, I think a piece of me went with him. Because I'm not even going to lie. I haven't been the same person since. I've been in the ring. Like, this has been recently. I've been in the ring and I've seen him. I've seen my brother standing there watching me. And that's what's kept me going on. I've done told Jessie a million times, I'm almost ready to hang this up. And every time I say that, the very next show, my brother's standing somewhere in some corner looking and cheering me on. And I feel it in my heart. That's him telling me, No, you ain't done yet. That's
Fun.
what kept me going. Jesse's coming in, and when we got together, we've all. It feels like we've started a conglomerate. There's dump truck merch everywhere, Jesse merch everywhere. Dump truck selling honey. I'm running for president. I was running for North Carolina Senate, and I'd have never done none of this stuff. Never. But her and my brother keeping on my shoulder, smacking me, telling me, keep going, keep going. I'm bound and determined that I'm going to be the king of independent wrestling.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know how much Brandon meant to me. Man, let's take. We're gonna take another step and take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more with Dump Truck and Jessie. Welcome back in. I am Chris Helms with Who's the Champ, and I'm your host with the most. They usually like to say that. But I'm sitting down here with Dump Truck and Jessie. And we've talked with Dump Truck for most of this show. And Jessie, it's time for you to shine, girl. So, I said earlier in the show that you were a promoter, a manager. Let's talk about promoting. Jessie, you have a new venture coming up, and I believe it's the end of this month. Please tell me about Gemstone Wrestling.
Yes, I would be honored to tell you. It is Gemstone Championship Wrestling. We are actually kicking off January 31st at the VFW in Gastonia, North Carolina. Our show, we're going to have Snoo, See No Evil Wrestling, has blessed us with sharing the venue and sharing the show. And we're going to be after their show. They're going to do a small show. And then Gemstone's going to kick off after the intermission. And it's all female, from managers to workers to referees to man in the door. The only men that will be involved will be security. And of course, my right-hand man is King of Security. He is the head honcho. He's got lots of experience as a bouncer and security anyway. And he is training a couple other ones to help him. We want to protect the women at all costs. You have a lot of shows that women are very few and far between when it comes to that. And so when the women come out, the men go crazy. And women, some of them, actually. Just being honest out there. So I wanted to give a platform to females. We've got some amazing talent out there. Some of my favorite, Tess Warren coming up. We've got Nikki Wild. You guys will start seeing a lot more from her. She just trained at the Seth Rollins School, actually. What's the Seth Rollins School, right? I just can't remember the name of it. And Tess trained at Tom Pritchard's. We actually met her in Tennessee, and both of those girls become like children of our own.
Tess just come back from a big UK tour.
Yeah, she went on a UK tour. I love Audrey Allen, Savannah Evans,
Amanda Kiss, Sam Street.
Yes, there's a whole list that I can go. And
Maya Ferrari.
Yep. No, you're fine. He's excited with me. I love it. It's amazing to have the support that I've got with Dump Truck. But there's so many, and if I have left out names, I know I have, and I'm sorry, just off the top of my head. But there's some phenomenal talent that's not broadcasted out there. A lot of times, if you do have female wrestling at a show, it's one match, and that's it. The rest is all males. There's very few female referees. Well, there's a lot of female referees, but they're not used as a lot. Even I can referee. I'm green at referee, and I have. Not a big fan of it. I'd rather manage, but I will referee, and I'm, you know, except for it was scary refereeing a ICT match before. That one scared me. I was scared.
That's a lot of meat in the ring.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But you know, back at the gemstone, I think that they need to shine, and why not give them a platform? So I'm really excited and I'm the Diamond Jessie Sky. So gemstones it is.
Where did the name Diamond Jessie Sky come from?
Well, it originally, long story, when I first was starting to train, I wanted to be Jessie Springfield the Wildflower. Well, then I started learning heel stuff, and they're like, well, you might want to drop the flowers and the hippie type thing. So it went to Jessie. Well, Truk was playing his Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the 2K24 game. And I told him while I was at work to create me a wrestler. And he created, and when I got there, and it was called the Diamond Jessie Sky. And it hit and fell in love with it. So people call me Jessie. People call me the Diamond Jessie Sky. I hear a little bit of it all. And even my children in my classroom, I'm an NC pre-K teacher, shoot job, and they know about who Jessie is. It was last year. We went to we had to leave early one day for a show that was during the week. And to save time, I got dressed at work and come out. And one of the little kids in my classroom, he said, Miss Angela has left the building and Jessie has arrived to teach for a little while. It was hilarious. So, I mean, these are 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. And so they asked on Mondays, can we see videos from this past weekend? Can we see pictures? And they know Truk and they learn wrestler names. It's hilarious. So listen, they enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I hate to do this. We had so much fun. Diamond Jessie and Dump Truck, man. I love y'all to death, man. I appreciate y'all coming on this week with me. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about doing this since the show started, and I'm so happy I was able to sit down with y'all and talk wrestling. You know, once we get off here, we can talk some more. We can do another show. Once I get y'all in town, we can get you in the studio. But, you know, everyone, thank you again for watching Who's the Champ. I enjoy y'all every week. Come back next week. We have another great show for you. I'll see you next week.